ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, and if I can stretch it far enough to say brothers and sisters. I was here about a year ago, and it's amazing how quickly time flies, isn't it? It doesn't feel like a year ago. My daughter was saying it Mariam, she was saying it feels like only 3 months ago. And it made me reflect a little bit. Well, firstly, it was nice to hear some people talk and use prayers. And people sometimes ask me, when you get to deliver a speech, what do you do? How do you feel confident about delivering it? And I say, I never feel confident. There's always something that's in the back of your mind thinking, what if I say something wrong? But because you used the prayer, I thought I may as well share the prayer that I use, if I may. So I always start off with Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. And it's the prayer that Musa alayhi salam had read when he was going to go speak to the Pharaoh. And it translates, roughly speaking, I don't have the actual transliteration or translation in front of me, but it roughly translates into, my Lord, remove the knot from my speech so they can all understand exactly what I'm saying. And it seems like a poignant thing to use whenever you're going to go stand in front of a public to deliver any kind of speech. Not that this is as confrontational as Moses versus Pharaoh, but it's still useful nonetheless. So thank you for doing a prayer when you came on. I thought I may as well do the same. Hi. So, I'm Shahid Islam. I'm a Principal Research Fellow in the Bradford Institute for Health Research. I'm also now in a new role, sometimes working with people like Jerry and others, as the Director for the Centre for Co-Production and Peer Research. I'm also the Vice Chair. We have the Chair here with us for Bradford for Better. And more than anything else, I consider myself, more than any of those roles, I consider myself a community activist. And I think that's an important role that everybody should take. You don't have to go out with banners and challenge anybody. It just means that you look around and you think, what is it about my area or the neighbourhood where I live, and what can I do to change it? It sounds like we've got a community activist in the making in the back there. But that's the key essence of what community activism is about, and I'm grateful that we have in Bradford, if I can just say so, we now have got the City of Culture, so Bradford for Better was involved in that, and so was Born in Bradford, who I'm employed by. We're also the City of Film, so there's film being made today, and we've got an evening today which I'm going to have to leave after here and go and visit the work of Pish, who you may or may not know, but he's making all sorts of interesting movies and films documentaries, not movies, about Bradford. And I think that's another, string in Bradford's bow about the kinds of talent that we've got here. We're also the city of community spirit. It's not very well known, but people in Bradford are very generous. We're in the top 10 of one of the most generous cities. Even that's despite not being one of the richest cities. And then the thing that is less well known is we're the city of research. So you may have heard that recently we won the award Bradford won the award for the City of Research. Previously it was always Oxford, Cambridge or London, what was always known as the Golden Triangle, but this year Bradford took it by doing a huge amount of work to try and recruit people from the communities into research studies. I think the other thing that connects community activism with my work is the work of research. These two things are not often seen as comfortable bedfellows, but they're very closely connected. And it's through community activism that you can create better research, which is why I'm always looking for who else can join us. So sometimes people think research is all about academics who've been to university, who've got a PhD, who wear lab coats and do interesting science. And it's so far from the truth. The research is owned by all of us. We all have an input in it, we can all influence it, we can all contribute to it, and we can all make it richer. So that's my mission with both the institute that I'm employed by, but also my role with Bradford for Better. I could talk a lot about research, but I don't really have that much time. So I'm just gonna share a few key things. I thought last time I was just put on the spot by Tony. I didn't even know I was going to do any speaking. So this time he's given me a little bit of notice. So I thought instead of just sharing a little bit of what I do and how I do it, I thought I may as well share some really important things that have come from the research that we're involved in. These may be really well known by a lot of you, but just in case they're not, I should draw on them. Any young people, we're also the city of the youngest, we're a very young city, I should say. Outside of London, we have the highest number of young people in this city, and that fills my heart with hope. I think we've got so many opportunities here for young people, and we've got to sort of encourage them to get into the right things. So the young man who was just speaking now about trying to get other people involved in things, that creates a massive warmth in my heart that you're doing those sorts of things. So keep that up and keep that going. But for young people, I just want to share a few things. One is read. That's key. It's not just for boffins and geeks. It's for people who really want to understand the world and make a difference. And I think in this world of TikTok and social media and X, and especially X because it's now really right-wing and fascist-based, I think it's really important that we gravitate our young people towards books. So read. That's one of the key things that comes from our research. Those who read always do well. So encourage young people to read. The other thing is volunteer. It may seem easier to go and make a shortcut and go find work and earn your income that way. Brilliant. It's good for your CV, etc. But volunteering does something for humans that paid work doesn't. And it's because you are contributing to society using your time in a way that's making things better without getting anything back personally. Now that last bit is not true. You do get a lot back personally. Physically, mentally, volunteers live longer, they have better health, and they have better social connections. So encourage all young people to get into volunteering, and it's not bad for the CV either. Whenever I look at a job application for anybody, and if I compare two people, one has got volunteering experience and one hasn't, I always gravitate towards those that are volunteered because they're doing something for the goodness, through the milk of human kindness, which is hard to quantify. So encourage young people to volunteer. The other thing is gardening. We are a city which really has a lot of countryside around us, but we've also got massive amounts of problems. Some of those problems are to do with our healthy urban environments or unhealthy urban environments. We're seeing a lot more people concreting things and putting breeze block walls up. That's the kind of thing that degrades a city. Encourage everybody to get into gardening. It's good for the mental health, it's good for the physical health, it's good for long life, it's proven to work. One of my colleagues, Dr. Chris Ben, he's a surgeon in BRI, and he said to me, if I could turn gardening into a pill, this would do so much more than I can prescribe anything to my patients. Now that should tell you something. And then the final thing that I'll say is active travel. Get on a bike. It's very easy. I mean, there's a car accident today. There's good reason for why we should be fearful of our roads. Our roads are getting more and more congested and dangerous, and it's not only the things that we can see, it's also the pollution. But if you can get onto a bike, it's good for your physical health, it's good for your mental health, it's good for reducing congestion, and it's good for the city. So I thought I should share just those few points from all the things that I've been involved in. If you ever invited me to a much longer lecture, I could share much more. But I'll just stop there, Tony, if that's okay. Thank you.